Oak Ridge happened slowly, and then all at once. It started on an ordinary summer day during what had otherwise been an unremarkable year in Oak Ridge, Tennessee. Over the years, the small town had become a hub of superhero activity, so when strange things started happening, no one noticed. Then it escalated to the point where it was impossible to ignore. Lex, would you like to introduce yourself and describe what Medina looked like before they got changed?
Well, howdy, hey. I'm Lex Olden, but you can call me they. Medina, before the change, was mostly normal-looking teenage girl. She was always, like, a little bit on the more buff side, working out for, like, fun, but not for any particular reason. She tended to wear a lot of, like, pastel colors, bright pinks and blues and things. And probably wearing some kind of shirt with some character from Sailor Moon on it.
We see, Medina, as you've just ducked into a pawn shop because you saw they had some Sailor Moon stuff in the window and you wanted to ask the owner about it. And as you were talking, perhaps haggling on the price for a minute. Weird things are common in Oak Ridge, but it started to get slightly weirder, but not to the point where anyone's really concerned. And as you're haggling, we just see this spectral wolf burst through one of the walls and passes right through you, except for it doesn't continue, it just vanishes as it hits you. And I don't think you realized exactly what had happened until a while later.
Great. I love that for me.
I believe you had mentioned that Medina was learning magic.
Yep, she is long line of magic enjoyers.
Yeah, the changes were slow at first, but after a while, right when things started getting really strange in the city and people started realizing something was wrong, you also noticed your magic had changed. What of it you still had. And meanwhile, way up in the stars, because this is a world where aliens have come to interact with the superhero world, but we see one who I don't believe you've been on Earth yet. Or maybe you've been once or twice. But Casey, would you like to introduce yourself and your character?
Hello. It is I. Back again. And I'm once again playing Annabelle Joyce. If you remember correctly, she was my character from season 1. This is a different version of Annabelle. And you'll recall, she was quite tall, alien, pale, freckles, short-cropped curly hair, blonde, really striking blue eyes. And she is, in this game, the Legacy playbook.
So we see Annabelle talking with a few others of her kind about the changes that they've started noticing centered in a small town in Tennessee. No one really knew what was happening at first, but it had a lot of people nervous. And they weren't really sure how to handle it. What solution, what approach did you push for?
No, what we need to do is send scientists. This is something that needs to be studied. We can't just ignore it or contain it. What if it continues to spread? That won't do anything but delay the inevitable.
We can't put our people at risk. We have technology that we can use to protect ourselves. We can't put our people at risk, especially if we don't know if this is even that big of a threat.
We can protect ourselves. Why can't we protect them too?
And you kept trying to argue, and they did some things to placate you, but they weren't as interested in helping the humans as you were. And then things got worse. First, the world thought it was an invasion, but an invasion was something the superhero world could have dealt with. This was something else, something worse. Something the world of heroes had no idea how to handle. reality was fracturing. And as it split at the seams, it let all sorts of strange things into this world that had never been there before. And in a flash, we find ourselves on another planet, in another place. Zach, would you like to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your character?
Yeah, sure. Hi, I'm Zach Tuttle Rob, he, him, and I will be playing, as he's known on his homeworld, Dakaris Hesta, or as he's known amongst this gaggle, Declan Hester, the outsider, he, they. You know, just a small, flouncy young lad. Flouncy is the word that we're going with. He's kind of from a group of people who are essentially like a bio-humanoid, like mechanical kind of vibe. So, you know, a little bit of that vision, sort of synthezoid, sort of techno-organic kind of vibe going. He's got sort of alternating kind of neon sort of shaded skin that kind of fluctuates. His eyes look almost metallic, the sclera sort of like a light platinum sort of silvery color, but then his iris is a sort of metallic pink. And yeah, he's just doing his thing, being just a cute, very cheerful young man.
He'd be so good at raves. Just his skin immediately. He'd be so fun at raves.
Yeah, one of the things when building him is literally the option is neon skin. So you know what? Let's go.
Exactly. And the world you live on was happy. Things were going well, and then things started to take a strange turn, and people were panicking and trying to figure out what to do. And there was one day where you were with your family working on getting ready to get out and go somewhere safe as these shadows started to take over your world. And then something changed, something shifted. You don't know what happened or how you ended up on Earth, but you ended up in Oak Ridge as it was beginning to fall. You haven't seen anyone like you. There are others who are also displaced, but none that are of your people. You don't know what to do, but you do know that this darkness that's spreading across the city is the same thing was spreading across your home. So we see this lost little funky, very colorful alien trying to get somewhere safe and figure out how in the world are you going to get home.
Yeah.
Do you try and warn people?
I think for the first bit, it's a lot of hiding and watching. One of their powers is radical shape shifting. So I think there's a bit of I clearly don't fit in with the people here. And so sort of laying low, finding a nice spot to just kind of chill and kind of see all right, what's the most average kind of look I can kind of adopt so that people aren't going to be staring at me, assuming that upon seeing that a similar thing is happening, I think I try to find some sort of authority. I don't know what that looks like here.
Just roll me a straight 2d6 to see if you ever found anyone.
First roll, let's go.
Don't fuck it up.
That's a 7. A very meh 7.
You were never able to find them, but you did hear about an organization called Multae that sounded like they were the most likely to know what was going on here. But you weren't quite able to find or get in contact with them.
Noted.
Because by the time anyone realized that things were coming through these cracks and fractures in reality, it was too late to stop it. And so Oak Ridge fell. The rest of the world chose to seal off the threat instead of facing it because they couldn't even begin to understand it. So a shield was put around a major part of the city, even though it meant abandoning those who could not flee the city fast enough. And in this moment, we see a young girl trying to flee from this madness with her dad. Anna, if you would like to introduce yourself
and we're happy and we live in the woods forever. Hi everyone, I am Sanctum Cosplays, who no longer cosplays, but instead has taken up the podcasting and actual plays. Find me wherever your dramatic bitch needs are. That's where I am. As for Jennifer, currently in her state, she is 4'9" max, maybe weighs 90 pounds soaking wet, is mostly just like skin and bones, mousy brown hair, like very nondescript. You could look over her very easily, and that is how she has always lived her life. She just doesn't have anything that makes her stand out, which is both a blessing and a curse. Does it keep her from getting mercilessly bullied at school? Most definitely. Does it keep anyone from, like asking her to the winter formal? Also definitely. So she's just kind of living in a world of nondescript.
Yeah, and we see you and your father trying to flee, trying to get beyond. You're told what sort of highway bounds would mark the edges of the quarantine zone, but as you were running, both you and he have sustained some injuries, nothing life-threatening, but it's slowing you down. You're both worried you will not be able to get out in time. He knows that both of you won't be able to make it, so there's one night where once he's sure you're asleep and there's some other people around to help keep an eye on you, he steps out to have a conversation with someone. And you never knew the results of that conversation, but what you do know is you were able to get out, and he said that he would be following. Except he didn't make it out in time.
Liar.
The shield has gone up, you haven't seen him since, and tell us a little bit about what kind of changes you've been through since then.
Post losing her dad and this definitely normal conversation he had with another person, totally normal, casual talking about the weather, I'm sure, Jennifer has basically doubled in size overnight, and with all of the negative that comes with, obviously her body is not equipped to handle the sheer amount of muscle she has gained. There's like stretch marks, and there's, parts where muscles are bulging out more than they should be, and it's this kind of like conglomeration of just muscle stacked on top of a human frame instead of muscle being built around a human frame. She's shot up to like 6'4". She is just mostly torso and arms, kind of looks like she skipped leg day for the most part, but it is just inhuman, and it was a change that happened like starkly overnight, where she woke up one day and was like, I feel taller, like a lot taller, and boy was she taller.
Yeah, significantly, and no one has been able to explain it. And it's been 3 years. As far as you know, no one has been into or out of the city. Aegis, which is the superhero organization over everything, has made it clear no one is allowed to go in. You can't risk breaching the quarantine, although that's just because they don't understand what's going on. But a report has come out recently of a scientist who went back to ground zero of the invasion, of this infection, point where reality started to fracture. And he thinks he has an idea of how to fix this. But he can't do it alone. He's going to need help. How do your characters find out about this? And why do they decide to answer the call?
I think maybe I was looking for a magical way to fix my abilities, but for some reason the spell, instead of doing anything that I wanted, just summoned like a spectral wolf that just like led me somewhere. I went, fuck it, why not? What could possibly go wrong?
Just led you to this random old white man's house.
That's just how it is sometimes,
I don't think I would trust a wolf who led me to an old white man's house.
Talk about being thrown to the wolves, am I right?
But
Hey, kids, don't follow random ghost wolves to a white man's house.
What about for Annabelle or Angel? And also, what has your life looked like these past couple of years?
So I think that we talked that I was one of the people who is maintaining and monitoring the barrier, right?
Yeah, you got put on barrier duty when you made it very clear you were not happy about it.
Oh yeah, I was not happy about the barrier, so I got to be on barrier duty. Fun. Like getting Shrek'd at DreamWorks. So, it's been a lot of just kind of walking around, seething a little bit, because this could have been prevented. In my mind, this could have been prevented. And making sure that it's not getting bigger. God, please don't get bigger. So I would say when that scientist went back, he had to go in the barrier, right?
The reason that you have to patrol the barrier is they absolutely know some people have found a way to get in and out.
Mm-hmm.
It's not easy, but there are a couple of points where they can get people out from underneath or get supplies in. Because there are still people living in there.
Yep.
There are a lot of people who didn't make it out. You know there are ways to get in and out, and maybe you ran into someone who kind of looked the other way when this person slipped in.
I was gonna say, I full-on escorted him.
That works too.
Because I'm upset. I'm not happy with this situation. So I'm gonna say, not only did I turn a blind eye to people providing aid, I shielded them.
You might be a big part of why a lot of people are still alive. So you let him in, and he told you himself, and he sent you an address to go to. He has a family member who's going to try and get more help. He's not sure how many will answer, but he's going to try. So I guess maybe you had some leave time stored up, so you basically say, hey, I'm taking a vacation, someone can fill in my spot. So you don't get in any more trouble. You let the people that you've been smuggling in and out know, hey, don't come here for a little bit. I have a thing I need to do. So they don't accidentally get in trouble because you're not there. And what about... Or... I have your name written down wrong. Zach, what's your character's actual name again?
Dakaris or Declan.
Cool, I did write it down right, Dakaris.
Yeah, you got it. Like you said, I think, and just trying to figure out, like, who to get in touch with, just kind of followed a trail. I don't know what that trail looked like. And then I'm assuming I end up at an old white guy's house.
Eventually you do. You still haven't found anyone else that is of your people, but I will say, since you're the outsider playbook and there's a move with, like, calling on your people, there are others who are also, like, misplaced, so you've had that community, but it's not quite the same.
Yeah.
And what about for Region? How'd you find out about this?
I think it was less she found out and more he found her. It's really easy to locate the once 4'9", now turned 6'4" monster girl than the monster girl finding you. And I think she accepted because there's like a vague hope, a vague promise that she can return to more normal than she currently is. And that's the kind of, fuck it can't get worse, can it? I'm sure it can, but fuck it can't get worse right now.
Yeah, I think what happened is, like, you were talking to your doctor, because, like, you've had to see a lot of doctors trying to figure things out, but now it's more of just...
And they've always asked me if I'm exercising more, or if I've lost weight. That'll help the issue. It'll be, yeah, it's great. Doctors are great.
Yeah, there's one that's been better at listening and has been trying to help you, and maybe you mentioned something about your dad, and he said that he might know some people who can help. So that is how the four of you end up on the same day, because comic book logic. At the house of one Dr. Benjamin Whaley. An hour or so outside of Oak Ridge. And you all arrive around the same time, I think.
At this moment, I think that Declan, like when he's trying to blend in, it's like sort of like chin length, like red hair, kind of keeps the pink eyes, but they're like not metallic hue. Just wears an immense amount of like 90s style neon, a lot of spandex, a lot of like big windbreakers, like that kind of a vibe.
Yeah, because that blends in.
Yeah, you know.
You look like a walking
I think he
Dixie
watched
cup.
a lot of Nickelodeon to figure out what was happening, a lot of 90s Nickelodeon, and was like, yeah, that's right, everyone wears neon, that's how it goes, right?
90s Disney where you wear like 6 layers and 2 of them are vests.
Yeah, you know, a skirt over jeans, that's what they wear.
Thing normal humans wear.
Yeah.
Yeah, Medina is probably wearing like sportswear, but it's all still like the pastel colors.
Looks like she could kill you. Is dressed like a cinnamon roll.
Yeah.
She always looks like she's wearing cotton candy. Like,
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh,
Also, I have to say the funniest thing about Dakaris' fashion sense is the fact that Regent has not corrected you.
no.
No.
Why would I tell
Fashion
him what
trends.
he can and can't do? That's not my place.
Yeah, I just like the color's fun. It helps you express
I think
yourself.
At once,
and-
she was like, "Hey, that's going to draw a lot of attention," and then like that was the end of it. That was the end of the conversation. Like, that's going to draw a lot of attention.
Yeah, but like, you know, like I look normal, so it's fun.
You haven't dissuaded, it's just more of, okay, if you're going to wear bright colors, basically color coordination.
She's done the thing that you do with like small children who are learning how to dress themselves, where she rips a sticker in half and goes, "This lion goes with this lion." There you go, Declan.
Yeah. One of my looks is mismatched clothing,
Amazing.
so I'm just a mess constantly.
And then I think to help counteract that, Jen has only ever
Nice.
worn all black. Like, please do not perceive me. Look at the rainbow next to me and not me at all.
I also love how it's tall and all black, and then small. Just colorful small.
I'm just a little
Why
flouncy
are we
guy.
a band from Eurovision?
Yeah, what a boy band. I'm the fun one.
We're a band from Eurovision.
someone is
great.
going to die. Of fun.
This is the angry one.
Pretty much, yeah.
Jen's gonna take the reign and knock on this random white man's door.
I'll back you up, Jenny, I promise.
From over here. Really far behind.
Jen, I will say, it's not a random white man. This is your doctor.
That's fair. Well, everyone else, this is a random white man. This is a white man I trust. Dr. Benjamin Whaley?
Yeah,
White
Benjamin
man.
Whaley, also lots of love to our, like, token white man.
Dr. Benjamin Whaley, the only white man.
Just the end of sentence.
The
The
only
only
white
white
man.
man?
Yeah, in
The
this
only white
universe,
man.
there's only one white man, and his name.
There's one cishet white man, and it's Dr.
Yeah.
Benjamin, and
But
that's
hey,
it.
the only white man is a PhD, so that's
The rest
pretty.
got eaten by the void.
That's pretty
Good for
impressive.
him.
Yeah.
That's overcoming diversity.
Reaching, you go up to knock on the door as Angel is walking up the drive or flying up. I don't know how you arrive.
Teleportation, baby.
And Dr. Whaley opens the door and says, "Oh, good, you came. Come on. Oh, there's more of you than I expected. Perfect.
Yes, I am also here. Hello.
Pleasure to meet you. Come on in, come on in."
I'm greatly confused.
I greatly confused. I'm dad. Sorry. No, that was Anna. That was...
Did any of the rest of us see the wolf that led you here, or is that an exclusive to you ability?
I think it depends on the order you were here. 'Cause it's not just to me. It is all my magic is very, very visible and all glows bright pink.
I think I showed up with Jen.
So, Decorus and Regen, you both noticed. As it was fading, you saw the wolf. I think both of you have some idea, like, that's something with Medina's magic. Don't know what that is, but that's something with Medina.
Oh, Medina's going to be here.
The wolf is new.
Yeah, she's so magical.
What?
What? Ha! Ha! Whew. Into a bush.
I'm gonna go into the stranger's house now.
Yeah, we should go into the... he's actually not a stranger. I know him.
Helpful.
Yeah, so you go into the living room where he's got like a pitcher of tea and then a plate of cookies that were definitely like bought at a grocery store and then put on the plate to look nice.
Are they the sugar cookies with the icing and sprinkles?
It's probably a mix of that and chocolate chip.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, also, I forgot to mention, since the weirdness with the wolf, Medina is for sure, like, grew like a foot taller, is hairier than she was before.
You are not covered in fur, you just have like more arm hair.
Just like more arm hair, everything.
She just went bisexual when she decided she didn't want to shave her armpits anymore.
And went from having eyebrows to a unibrow, like just in general more hairy, like a foot taller. She was like 5'4" before, now she's like 6'7".
I used to have someone taller than me.
Jenny,
That's
she changes as much as I do.
Neither is Annabelle.
Declan, are you okay?
No, I'm fine. I go back to what I've learned from TV is that when you come into a new, a house of someone you don't really know, is you spend a time like looking over like everything that's hung on the walls, and so I spend way too much time doing that. So there's a lot of just nodding at like pictures and stuff.
I have the idea that one of them is a mirror. You're like, yeah.
Yeah, there is a little mirror, and there's a lot of like family photos of him with kids and his grandkids, and as you're walking around nodding.
It's a lovely family you have.
Thank you. So I know why you're here, Regent. I'm assuming the rest of you are here for the same reason. You're interested in helping my grandson, Joshua?
Who?
Point to Declan. He's kind of with me.
Well, I've been looking for this group called Multae. I don't know if this is the place to be for that, or...
Oh, yes, Joshua mentioned doing some work with them. He's a scientist.
Oh.
So clearly this is superhero shenanigans. Everyone knows superheroes exist. What are people's knowledge on like the fact that magic exists?
It's probably about the same level of understanding people have about the existence of superheroes or like common person. It's all superhero stuff. There's no difference between the science and then the magic.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so as Nicholas is just like going around looking and nodding at all of the photos and nodding at a couple little like decorative little mirrors. He is explaining, my grandson is a scientist who... Multae is a group that's been trying to more or less figure out what happened 3 years ago and if there's a way to contain or even reverse it. And a couple of months ago, he had an idea, so he took some equipment and actually went into the fallen city.
It was very brave.
Yes, he's determined to find a way to fix this. He's had a lot of dreams about losing his sister, even though he doesn't have a sister. But, he sent me word a couple of days ago that he might have a way to fix it, but he needs help, so he asked me to see if I could find anyone who would be willing to help. He might have a way to fix this hole in reality, and if there's anyone that's going to be able to fix it, it's probably him.
And what does, like, helping entail?
You probably have to go into the city. He was going to... What he figured out was the Ground Zero, which was, according to him, he's at the Y-12 National Security Complex.
Oh, that sounds scary.
That was one of the first places that got abandoned when things turned bad. The closest entrance will be somewhere along Highways 95 and 62. But if you want to take a safer route, there's a possible entrance near where 62 and Melton Hill Lake is. It might take you longer to get there, but from what people have heard, it's a little safer. We've gotten very mixed and scattered reports from inside. And I know this is dangerous, and I know you could get in a lot of trouble, but this could be our one shot. Also, I would very much like to get my grandson back in one piece, if at all possible.
I would know where these entrances are. Would I know of any more of them than those two?
Roll plus superior.
5.
5.
Fail, isn't it?
Womp womp.
Womp womp.
Well, you get to mark a potential. Congratulations.
Potential!
First potential of the game!
Woo! With a 5, I think not only have you not patrolled near that area, you know exactly who patrols that area, and they will report you in a heartbeat if you're caught. For both of those stretches. But you also know the areas that you patrol and that you know really well. You're going to have a hell of a long walk to get to the lab.
So there is an entrance I know, and I know the patrol route there. But it's on the other side of town completely.
I look at Jen, it's like, I know the two of us could probably just sprint there.
I think we skipped over the part where we had an agreement that we're all gonna do this very dangerous plan.
I'll do the very dangerous plan.
Well, if fixing the hole in the universe or whatever fixes me, I'm down. So,
What's wrong with you?
do I know you?
No, it's just like no. You don't. No.
Roll to pierce the mask, Medina.
That was so cold. Do I fucking know you?
That's double sixes.
Hey.
Holy shit. Okay.
I forget what you add to that.
It doesn't really matter. On a 10 plus, you get to ask 3.
I think it's mundane.
It's mundane.
I think I, Anna, have a crush on Declan, the sweet, sweet baby.
So what questions would you like to ask about as you're trying to figure out who is this small, colorful child and why are they here?
What do you intend to do? Because from my perspective, you're a random man who has already been weird for the first 5 minutes I've known you.
In asking what's wrong with you, or
Just in general.
in general, you see that Declan is very. I guess the situation is very intent on helping.
Okay.
Not just because it's probably a nice thing to do, but also it would probably help them out greatly. And specifically in interacting with you, the intent was I don't see anything wrong with you. You seem you seem fine. So I don't. I guess seeking to understand, because it's seriously
Gotcha. Okay.
What is? I don't see anything wrong with you.
What do you mean fix what's wrong with me? You're perfect.
Yeah, yeah, you're perfect. What do you mean?
My second question is, how do I get you to talk to me less?
Brutal.
Ask that question, probably.
Brutal, Medina.
Just say it
Brutal.
outright. Got it.
You're talking to
Oh,
a
you got
little
one more,
sunshine
right?
child who does not understand a lot of things. It's not that
No,
hard
not at
to
all.
make them want to go just avoid you.
Heart hurts.
Uh-huh. No, I get it. And I'm going to skip the third question. I got what I need.
Fair enough.
Just because you also got a 12, rolled a 12. Just he's big anime sparkle eyes, just absolutely enamored / smitten, or I don't know, Zach, if you want to describe.
Oh no, that's that. Yeah, like the eyes are real big. When they ask, "What's wrong with you?"
I just pivot back to Jen. So I just want to fix what happened.
As do I. It's more of the, like, imminent danger thing that's kind of getting to me.
Well, do you think we can't handle it?
And we'd be reported as soon as they saw us if we entered in the other 2 areas.
Well, what would be more dangerous, the one that you're proposing, or like a different one?
Well, I'll be court-martialed for being here anyways, so I'm not necessarily worried about that. I just wonder if they would follow us.
Oh, I'm just saying I'm really good at getting in and out of places. So, like, if like the one is like dangerous but easier to get through, I could probably be helpful there. But if you just need to like sneak past people, I could probably take care of that for us all. Whoever wants to go.
There are options. Roll to assess the situation, whoever's trying to figure out how do we do this? Which is rolling with superior.
I don't know. I have enough info, I don't think, to figure it out.
No part of Medina is thinking about this.
I am. Mine is out of fear, though. Oh, that's an 11 plus whatever assess the situation is what?
Superior.
Superior? Okay, that's 10.
9.
Yeah, so with the 10 plus you get to ask 2, with the 9 you get to ask 1.
How do I do this where I have to, like, interact with this the least amount?
Finding a way through the barrier that is, like, the closest point will be, as he mentioned, where 95 and 62 meet, which if you look at the map that I showed with the little doodle that looks kind of like a tardigrade, that shows where the barrier is. The upper left-hand corner-ish is where 95 and 62 intersect, more or less, and the little pin drop thing is around where Y12 is.
Which of the possible ways to get in is the biggest threat? Like, what here is the biggest threat? Like, is it more dangerous to gung-ho close, even though we know that Karen is there, or is it more dangerous to have to take more time?
It will be very dangerous to take more time just because there's a lot of, like, the area that they don't know about, but I will say, there's a slightly longer way, because I'll just say, Angel, you were, like, guarding part of, like, that lower area, or, like, somewhere nearby, like, you were covering someone's shift when you led Joshua specifically in, so you know where he went in, which was somewhere, like, along the river. It's a little bit longer than if you went from, like, the upper, like, the northeast side down, but you have the best chance of knowing what weird stuff there is from what Joshua told his granddad, but it is a little bit longer than if you come in from the north.
In the barrier, it's like a big energy field sort of thing, yeah? Or is it like just like fences and stuff?
I'm picturing something akin to a dome, but it's like alien energy shield.
I was just curious if it was like we need to get like through like a wall of energy or just over a fence.
Yeah, if it was over, I could throw everyone over.
I can fly, so...
Okay.
I just tear it down, honestly.
I hate all of these answers, but okay. Cool.
What about for Annabelle? What is your question?
What is the biggest threat, specifically when it comes to how the other 10 Terrans will react if they do spot us?
If they specifically see and recognize you going in with them, that would be a worst case scenario. Because, like, if the person who is on guard on that side doesn't see you go in, but just, like, see some people going in, they don't usually go in after people, because it's like, well, if you want to do that, it's your death. You're mostly there to make sure people don't get out, technically, because they don't want whatever this is to, like, spread. So, like, if the person sees and recognizes that you are going in, then there is a much higher chance that someone might be sent in, or something might be sent in after you. Because you know they're not going to trust if you do that. They're going to think you're up to something, and they will treat you as a threat that needs to be removed.
I mean, I am up to something.
Yeah, but you don't want them to know that.
I know. But really, they put me in a position to be a threat. And now I'm a threat. That's on them.
Not the first time someone has underestimated Annabelle.
Worst case scenario, I'm seen and recognized. Then we will have someone chasing us while also trying to get through this unknown territory. Medium case scenario, someone sees you sneaking in, they will probably ignore you. Best case scenario, nobody sees us going.
I mean, I could just make a distraction.
Then how do you get in?
I punch my way in. Like, what does it matter? I don't.
All of that seems like a really dangerous idea. To like, one distraction part, to punch your way through an energy field. Both of those seem dangerous.
You probably shouldn't do that.
Well, if you can get me through to the field, I can probably get us through it.
Okay.
I'm just really good with that sort of stuff.
So what I'm hearing, get Declan through, and then
I'll get you all through. It's like you slap my back, I slap yours.
not the phrase.
Nope.
Oh, okay.
Sounded fine to me.
See, Annabelle knows.
Aliens.
If you all feel up to it, I can provide some supplies and get you transportation to wherever you're wanting to go in, and you'll have a place where you can hunker down and wait for a good time to make your entrance. I can try and stay in communication, but I don't know what help I'm going to be. I also don't know if you would want to risk drawing that kind of attention to yourself.
What do the guards like there wear?
I stand up.
I pace around you, sort of taking you in, and I'll just change my clothes to look like you.
Roll to unleash your powers.
Yeah.
Oh boy, what happens if that goes wrong?
Oh, we're good. What math? 9 plus 2 is an 11.
Absolutely fine.
Notably, my eyes are just like a brown now. Just a boring color.
Ugh. Lame.
Cringe.
Okay, so we're doing this. We're actually doing this. Cool.
Are you going to be alright?
No, definitely not.
Hey, you're going to be okay.
Are you sure?
I want to go to the kitchen and like I walk out with like a panini press. And I'm like, can I have this? I say to Benjamin.
He just stares at you for a little bit and then says, "Sure, I honestly forgot I had that."
Awesome, this is going to come in handy.
It's a panini press on utility belt. Okay.
So, I'm having a problem because Annabelle's the only normal person here so far. But also, I currently hate Annabelle.
Annabelle's also
Yes.
an alien.
No.
Yeah.
Hey, Jennifer's just has
I'm
anxiety.
Fine,
That's all that we've seen
just
so
have
far.
Anxiety, okay? And that's normal.
Well, yes, but what about for Jennifer?
Listen here. I don't have anxiety, I have OCD. It's different. Thank you very much.
We still love you.
Can someone else please take the lead? I don't want to take the lead.
Okay, I'll take the lead.
All right. Yeah, we just stay on our toes, and just be ready to improvise like jazz. You know what I mean?
That analogy did make more sense than your last one.
What was the other one that didn't make
The slapping the back thing is not how that one works.
sense? Yeah, but it's like when you're like, good job, slap, slap, slap.
Makes sense to me. I'm not sure what the problem is.
See, thank you. Annabelle knows what I'm talking about.
This conversation is happening like as you're leaving. You have like tickets for a bus that will take you Well, it was like you get on, and then like it just kind of loops around the exterior, like a solid hour out from the wall, but they had to come up with something when suddenly there's a large area that is inaccessible.
Thank you for listening to Season 3 of Tempus Multae. If you like what we're doing, please feel free to go support us on Patreon at patreon.com/pseudonymsocial, or give us a follow on social media at pseudonymsocial. This season, we have Lex Olden as Medina, Sanctum Cosplays as Regen, Zachary Tuttle Robb as Dakaris, and Casey Glover as Annabelle Joyce.